Hey guys, how you doing? Today, what I want to talk to you about is the five-step sales process and how I use this when I first started phone sales and sales in general. So, let me give you a little bit of background before I get started. My background when I first started sales was no sales training at all, and phone sales was very foreign to me, and I was not very good at it at all. So how I toughened up in phone sales and sales in general was I used to just pick up the phone book, call people, and I did that for about a week every day for about 5 hours, and it was brutal. It was tough. And I had the worst sales pitch in the world, telling people who I am, and check out my business opportunity, and it just was terrible. And but what it did, it allowed me to get comfortable on the phone, and I was able to develop a little bit of a habit of constantly dialing for dollars, basically. And what I did was organize my sales pitch, and what I learned was the five-step sales process. Now, the five-step sales process is really good in like in during face-to-face meetings is really good in. Over the phone, it still works really well, but when you're in network marketing, what you really want to do is establish that meeting. And establishing the meeting and getting your information, your presentation in front of the individual so I can start the sales process, that's where it's all about. So in the beginning, what I did was and let me tell you, this is to the warm market. This is to my warm market of individuals. And let me go back a little bit more again. I didn't always call up individuals. My bread and butter were business owners. The reason why is they already have an establishment, they already have a following, and they're always looking for ways to make money. Whether it's part-time, full-time, or to expand their business, they're already in the yes for that, and they're always looking, and they have that following. So it was worth my time to go after those people. So now going to the sales part. So when I would call up a business owner, I would always ask them, tell them who I am, and I would always be in a rush, and that should be your first thing. You got to be like you're constantly busy and you're constantly working. And I would always tell them, I got a conference call in about 10 minutes, but I wanted to tell you, John, that I just bought into a new business and I would love to hear your insight of this business. And you got to see it. You're going to have to see it. I respect what you have to say. So how about 8 o'clock we meet up, and we can meet up over here at my office, or I can go to your office and or your house, and 8 o'clock sound good. And they'll tell you yes or no. And then if they say no, I would always have another time. And I would always try to reconfirm the time of when we're meeting. Now, if we could not meet for whatever reason, what I would always do is stay on them with the phone and say, do you at least have 10 minutes to look at this? And I would send them a link. Then I would call them back in 10 minutes. Then I'll start the sales process. So, after I established the meeting and established, here's our company information, what I would always do is to start the 5 steps, which is gain interest, credibility, establish a need, and an easy transaction. Now, when you're trying to gain interest, if you always talk about what they're thinking about, you can always pursue them. Now, let me tell you, what do most people think about? Most people think about money, health, and love. So when you're young, you're thinking about how do I make money, how do I keep looking good, and who am I loving? When you're older, you always think about how do I keep my money, how do I stay healthy, and how do I keep the loved ones in my life. So if you always talk about what are on people's mind, you can always pursue them, and that is the great thing about step 1. So now establishing, credibility, when you are transparent, when you're honest, and you have those kind of values, that comes through. So that is very important. Also, to that trustworthiness. Also, this is the big one. This helps sets up some of the sales. And this one I had a hard time doing, was establishing the need, because naturally I want to fix it. If there's a problem, I got this, and this, I want to fix it, and here this and this, and me, and I just start talking too much. So this is where you kind of shut up and you listen to what the client has to say, or the lead has to say. So establishing a need, I would ask questions, the right questions. So if it's a business owner, I always ask them, how's business? What are you doing? I would always dig deeper into what they're doing in business, and they will tell you what they need. They will tell you what's going on in their business. They will tell you everything you need to know. And at the same time, when they're doing that, I'm thinking in the back of my head, I have a product that's going to fit those needs. I have a solution that's going to fit those needs. So when they're telling me their needs, I am reiterating it to them and retelling it back to them. And what that does, it helps them understand that I understand their need. And that's important, So after establishing that and giving them, okay, I have a product for those needs, then I ask for the sale. That's very important. You got to ask for the sale. So how many would you like, Jacob? How many would you like, Sarah? Here's the order form. How much do we need to get you going on a monthly basis? And that's it. Quiet. Shut up. Don't say anything. You got to be comfortable with the uncomfortable silence. You just got to be comfortable with that. Let them tell you how much they're going to need. Ask for the sale, then shut up. That's it. And I did those steps, and that really got me going. And I still use the 5-step sales process to this day. I still talk to a lot of individuals, but I talk to a lot of CEO companies, and the 5-step sales process is great for anyone. But in network marketing, you must get in front of them. You must get your presentation in front of them and start the sales process. Because without that, you have nothing. So remember, let's go back. You need to be in a super rush, because being in a super rush allows you not to screw up the sale. Because if you start talking too much, that's not going to work. You don't want to talk. You don't want to answer questions. You just want to butter them up a little bit. Man, hey, that's why I always tell them, hey, I just bought into a company. I respect your opinion. You've got to take a look at this and tell me what you think. And that puts them in a position of, damn, this guy respects my opinion. Sure, man, let's meet. Let's meet. It makes them kind of think, I might be his mentor a little bit. And that's what you want them to think, So, so remember, after establishing the meeting, then you can start the sales process. And the gain interest part is very important to always talk with them. And I use the 5-step sales process even with strangers on face-to-face. And that really works as well. And because you know what they're thinking about. And you can kind of start the process there with absolute strangers, in a store or at a bookstore or at the mall, anywhere, at a networking event. So those really worked really well for me. Also, too, what really worked for me in some cases when I was talking to business owners, I would use a scared tactic to get the sale, to get meetings. So if it's a cold call, a cold business, and I have no idea, I have no rapport with them, what I would do is call them up, and this is how I would gain their interest. Because most business owners, their interest is going to be the money part, money. So how I would gain that interest with them is when they will ask me, well, what is this about? Why are you calling me? They're like, well, my company specializes in giving businesses another alternative to earning money in this downward economy. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, if you have 10 minutes, I can show you exactly what that means, and I can show you why we even exist. Then I start going over the statistics of how bad the economy is and how it can affect their economics in their business, and that wakes them up. That wakes them like I can use some alternative solutions to what I'm currently doing, and that works quite a bit. I use that tactic quite a bit, and I'm able to get my foot in the door and start a rapport and a relationship with them, and how I want to come across as a problem solver for these companies. If I'm a problem solver for the companies and my product is establishing the needs of their customers, that puts us in a different ballpark. Now they have to look at our product line as the holy grail in their system, because they're going to rely on us now. They're going to rely on us, and that's what you want. You want eventually to have these clients, these customers, to rely on what you're saying and to rely on the products that you bring to them. So, when the economy does take a dive, the first thing they think, they're like, well, I got to cut this back because I'm not making any money or whatever. No, that's the last thing they want to do is like, I cannot afford to not get rid of these guys. I can't afford to not have these products in my company. So those are some quick tips on how I've established some sales in the past and what I still do currently right now. And if you have any questions, please comment and email me. I would love to talk to you and bounce ideas off you. I still learn a lot from you guys too, and I hope you guys have a great day. And thanks for checking this out. See ya.